Hello students. Today I am going to explain a poem that is scaffolding. But before going to explain the poem scaffolding, let us look at the theme of the poem or what the poem is about. The poem is about strong relationship that develops either between two friends or couples, and this bond of relationship goes on increasing with the passage of time and becomes stronger and stronger, just like a concrete wall. Just as scaffolding is required for building a structure till it gains strength, similarly, or in the same way, human relationship also needs support, cooperation, and time to make it indestructible. So here the poet refers to scaffolding as a means or as the means to develop the bond of relationship or the bond of intimacy between two friends or couples. Now let us try to understand the meaning of the poem, scaffolding. But before going to make you understand the meaning of the poem, let us understand the meaning of the word scaffolding. Scaffolding is a temporary structure. It is a temporary structure that is erected or built just beside a building or adjacent to a building that is being constructed or under construction. Now, see the lines of the poem. Masons, when they start upon a building, are careful to test out the scaffolding. In the first two lines, the poet says that masons need to prepare a scaffolding adjacent to a wall that is being constructed, and while doing so, they are also very careful about the scaffolding because even a little mistake may lead to their death. So they are very careful about that. This suggests, or by this means, the poet wants to suggest us that we should be also very careful while trying to develop friendship with our friends. Now, see the next two lines. Make sure that planks won't slip at busy points. Secure all ladders, tighten bolted joints. Now, here the poet says that masons also tie planks very carefully so as not to slip at busy points. Busy points refer to the places where masons spend most of the time or the maximum time during their work. Ladders are also fixed properly and the bolts are tightened around the joints so as to give a firm structure to the scaffolding. So here the poet wants to suggest us that we should be very careful at each and every point of our life, especially to at those points where we spend maximum time with our friends or with our partners. Now see the next two lines. And yet all this comes down when the job is done, sewing off walls of sure and solid stone. Now in these two lines, the poet wants to say, once the construction of walls of sure and solid stone is over, the scaffolding comes down and is removed. So, once the wall is constructed or once the construction is over, it means once the relationship has become strong and stronger, now scaffolding is not required, means external support is not required. Now see the next two lines. So, if my dear, there sometimes seem to be old bridges breaking between you and me. In these two lines, the poet addresses his friend and says that he should not be worried even if it seems to him that the past arguments might break the bond of love between him and the poet because they have already built a strong bond of relationship between them. So here the poet wants to suggest his friend that there might be some arguments in the past or misunderstandings, but there is no need to worry about that because they have already built a strong relationship between them. Never fear, we may let the scaffolds fall, confident that we have built our wall. So here the poet says or tells his friend that there is no need to worry about the relationship because they have built their relationship very very strong, and now external support or outside support is not required because they have a strong relationship. So here we have the conclusion. The poet wants to say that at the initial time, what do we need? We need support, cooperation, and time to develop a relationship with our friends. So this is required at the beginning time. At the beginning time, just as scaffolding is required to erect or to construct a wall, similarly at the beginning time of our friendship, we also require support, okay, cooperation to build our relationship. But when we become successful in developing the bond of love between us, the old ties don't matter, as the scaffolding is removed once the construction is over because they have already built a strong structure. So, when we become successful in developing a strong relationship with our partner, there is now no need of external support, and so the scaffolding is removed after the construction of the building. Similarly, after the development of strong relationship with the partner or with the friend, outside support is not required because they have already built a strong structure. It means there might be misunderstandings or arguments between us in the past, but we need to leave those as scaffolding isn't required once the strong wall is built. So here the poet wants to suggest us that we must forget our past misunderstandings or arguments because they have already built a strong relationship. So it is useless to remember those arguments or misunderstandings that happened between them in the past. Thank you.